This content is not intended for kids under 13 years old. Hello, my name is Tina Rowe, and today I'll be reading my own article, The Mask of an Emperor, that you can find on tinarowe.com. And this is a continuation of the Code Geass analysis. In the first part, we talked about Suzaku's true nature, but this time we will talk about the Mask of an Emperor. We'll learn what is this mask that everyone is referring to throughout the series as if it's some main line of the story. But to understand what is a mask, we have to first address the Emperor's speech.
All men are not created equal, both in birth and in upbringing. In sheer scope of ability, every human is inherently different. Yes, that is why people discriminate against one another, which is why there is struggle, competition, and the unfaltering march of progress. Inequality is not wrong. Equality is. We will fight on. We shall struggle, compete, plunder, and dominate. And in the end, the future shall be ours. All hail Britannia! All hail Britannia! All hail Britannia!
And here already we see a mismatch. Emperor's full speech lasts 2.5 minutes. Why is the speech so long? The main topic of the scene is Charles' son's funerals, obviously Britannia who died, so Charles gives a speech about his conscious ideology and Lelouch stands there confused and angered because he wishes to kill the emperor. So why then would we see the speech wholly? It seems like a usual political event. He read from the paper the ideology of his country. But this speech is actually very important, because there are key moments in that speech that will reveal Charles' true mindset. For example, the emperor says, all men are not created equal. So it looks like he simply quotes Nietzsche with minimal changes. And this is the moment the viewer is sure that the emperor is pushing propaganda. However, if we truly wish to completely establish the fact that Emperor Charles is simply busy with Nazism and racism, we have to answer one very interesting question. Why does Emperor throw his very own son, a pure-blooded Britannian, out into the wild? Meanwhile, he also takes a Japanese guy to serve him with not even a drop of Britannian blood. So we have a fictional government with a clear, favorable attitude towards Britannians among other nations whom they refer to as numbers. Why the emperor does that weird move? To clarify that fact, we'll have to look into both scenes, Lelouch's exile in the childhood and Suzaku's hiring. So the first scene, a young prince barges into the palace and makes a scene in there. He can be understood. A mother was shot down in front of him, his sister has gone blind and crippled, and all of that fell onto his shoulders. And he ended up without advice, without mentorship, and without support. So for that support, he comes to the emperor with a cry for help. However, in return, he's been exiled into Japan as a political hostage. So he wasn't just somehow punished or just transferred away to another country. No, he was stripped of all of the titles, all of the rights, remade into a commoner. But we have also similar stories. We've got Jeremiah Gottwald and Violetta New, two people who have also both betrayed the fatherland. But for some reason it was said about them that due to their pure blood, they won't be fully punished. They weren't shot down for the treason as it's happening in the military. They weren't even fired from it. They were simply lowered in ranks. But for some reason, this privileged system for pure bloods couldn't be applied to Lelouch. And this happens because of the mask that we are researching right now. And many of you can say, yeah, I know everything about the mask, Lelouch took the mask of Zero, but right now we won't talk about Zero's mask at all. Our heroes constantly refer to the mask, especially in the second season when they've gone older. They say to hold the mask, don't drop the mask, to wear mask properly, and so on.
I'm impressed. You didn't drop your mask in front of Nonali.
A man who has not mastered the use of the mask can never prevail.
To completely understand the meaning of that mask, we'll look into the British series The Crown, to the moment of the crowning of Elizabeth the Queen. At this moment, Elizabeth finds out that her predecessor take a new name at the moment of the crowning. She asks why. Is it an old tradition or some cultural moment or maybe a meaningless rule? And Elizabeth decides to stay by her own name and crowns as Queen Elizabeth. And this is the moment her grandmother explains why the kings and queens of the past would take a new name. And she writes her granddaughter a letter.
Dearest Lilibet, I know how you loved your papa, my son, but you must put those sentiments to one side now, for duty calls. I have seen 3 great monarchies brought down through their failure to separate personal indulgences from duty. You must not allow yourself to make similar mistakes. And while you mourn your father, you must also mourn someone else. Elizabeth Mountbatten, for she has now been replaced by another person, Elizabeth Regina. The 2 Elizabeths will frequently be in conflict with one another. The fact is, the crown must win. Must always win.
Elizabeth finds out that from now on and until the end of her days, she will be in constant conflict between her personality as a woman, as a daughter, as a wife and a mother. She will have her obligations, her feelings, her emotions, her human rights, and she will also want to feel those emotions, naturally, like all humans have to. However, to the detriment of all those desires, needs and obligations, she'll have to be a good queen. And her grandmother says, Elizabeth the Queen should always win. And here is the core of the mask. Kings and queens of the past gave a new name to the mask, not to themselves, when being crowned. And this mask should have won always until the end of their days. The key word here is always. It shouldn't have fallen not once. It means that the real man behind the mask shouldn't be seen even once. Once again, this isn't a talk about Zero and Lelouch standing behind it. No. We speak about the public image that should have been held all the time. So what have Lelouch done? What was so unforgivable in his actions? He broke this main rule of the mask, that all who wear it have no right to be normal people, have feelings of human rights, they are fully giving themselves to the mask. And when Lelouch revealed his true face, his real worries, and has done it publicly, he was cut off from his status because that act instantly made him unsuitable for it. In contrary to Jeremiah and Villetta, who have betrayed the fatherland, but either did it under the influence of Geass or because of some blackmail. No one was able to get it fully straight back then, but they didn't lose their masks. At least Villetta wasn't caught red-handed. We also see the emperor taking a Japanese traitor, Suzaku, to serve him. And while his traitorship pushed him to betray Japan, he perfectly wore a mask of a loyal Britannian and didn't lose it. But after he established himself as a loyal Britannian, his betraying processes started to push him in other directions and he dropped that mask. So why Suzaku was marked as a traitor by the emperor and the whole palace? Not because he chose another side and betrayed. Jeremiah betrayed, Villetta betrayed too. But everyone talks to them over and over, they're giving the second, the third chance to make a career. However, Suzaku's political career meets its end. No one wants to deal with him, because he dropped the mask and revealed himself. It became clear to everyone that the real Suzaku is just a traitor. Everyone was able to see that clearly. And this is how we see that there is a lesson that Lelouch now has to learn from the emperor's speech and his actions. Actually, Lelouch had to learn it from the moment of his exile. We see that in reality the Emperor's beliefs are not based on Britannian superiority over the numbers, as all of his subjects thought while listening to his speech. With his actions, Charles always underlines the superiority of a man who is capable of wearing a mask. Thank you for listening to this article. The full version can be found in the description or on the site cineroad.com. Subscribe and leave a comment down below whether you think Zero's mask was helpful or useless to Lelouch in the learning of his lesson.